Nuasala dumps down the back. Arona picks it up. He gives it to Pearce. A chance to come to the right-hand side, which is where he heads. They're chasing him from the inside. He gives it to Warburton. He can link up with Cordner. Pouring down the field. He kicks. Minicello! Minicello! Unbelievable! The Roosters!
It was a classic example of a team snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. Somehow, the Tricolours defeating South Sydney on Monday night and showed the real contrast between today's combatants as to how they fared in round one. The Penrith side got away to a flyer against Canterbury before being well and truly overrun. Today, as we welcome you to 9 Sunday afternoon rugby league here at Allianz Stadium, both these clubs looking for much more consistent 80 minutes performers. And a real reminder, we are early in the season with warm conditions, as I'm joined by Andrew Johns and former Panther/Rooster Brad Fittler. Freddie, your old team won on Monday night, but was it a winning performance?
Well, it was a winning performance in Australia. They carried a winning attitude. They fought to the death, 80 minutes. I think Mini scored with about 15 seconds to go. So you got to say, if they keep that attitude, they give themselves a good chance today.
Daniel Mortimer did a great job for them. But Braithen Astor, what does he bring back to this football team? How does he strengthen it?
Well, he gives another point of attack. They had Mitchell Pearce running the show the other day. You see him words with the assistant coach, Matt Elliott there. Braithen Astor's best when he's running the ball. He's a big man. He's over 6 foot and up around 100 kilo. It's a 5'8". He straightens the attack. I like it when he's running the ball and playing tough.
Okay, there is just one change to their lineup. This is their team card thanks to iSelect, and it reads this way. Anthony Minicello at fullback, on the wings Justin Carney and Sam Perrott. The centre pairing Joseph Leilua and Mitch Orbison. Braithen Astor returns to 5'8" as the skipper, Mitchell Pearce, the number 7. A back row of Frank Paul Nuasala, Aidan Guerra and Boyd Cordner, with Jared Warrior-Hargreaves, Jake Friend and Lamatasi. The bench today, Tinaru Arona and Mossy Masoi, Martin Kennedy, and in jersey 18, Anthony Mitchell is included. They are coached by Brian Smith. Freddie, we saw North Queensland disappointing last week. They turned around their performance this weekend. How do the Panthers go about doing the same?
Well, I don't think the Panthers were as bad as North Queensland last week. But in the first couple of rounds, there's always a bounce factor. They've had plenty of time to think about it. They had the game sewn up, I thought, against Canterbury. When you look at Canterbury's form last night, it tells me that the Penrith weren't that bad last week. So they come into the game with a bit of confidence.
They did come in with some injury concerns. They lost both wingers, Andrew. Does that mean the more they can get the ball in the hands of the likes of Michael Jennings and Lachlan Coote, the better?
He's their strike player, Jennings. He's got to get as much ball as possible. And this is the way the Panthers line up at fullback, Lachlan Coote. On the wings, Etu Waseli and Sandor Earl. In the centres, their strike player, Michael Jennings and Brad Tye. In the halves, Travis Byrne and halfback Luke Walsh. In the back row, Nathan Smith. Clint Newton comes in the run-on side and captain Luke Lewis. In the front row, Sam McKendry and Dane Weston and hooker Kevin Kingston. On the interchange, Cameron Ciraldo, Chris Armott, Danny Galea, Nafi Saluini, and they're coached by Ivan Cleary.
A little guard of honour there from 8 and 12-year-old kids from the Save Our Sons Foundation, raising money to fight muscular dystrophy and forming a guard of honour for the Panthers as they come out in one of their away jumpers. And of course, it's the one that they first introduced to the Panthers club in the Women's in League round a couple of years ago. Been a long time since Penrith have beaten the Roosters here. The record shows they haven't won here since 2007. In fact, since they played the grand final and they won over the Roosters in 2003, these two have met 13 times, with the Panthers winning only 5. So Shanda Earl is one of the two wingers in the side because of the injuries to David Simmons and Michael Gordon. He debuted, in fact, as a Rooster back in 2009, and he and the other winger, Waisili, both have only played 16 top-grade games. Clint Newton, a welcome face, back in the NRL, played in the Melbourne Grand Final side in 07, debuted for Newcastle back at the start of the century, and he's been to Hull KR since, and I would imagine that fella and that lady in the top right-hand corner, Jack and Jackie Newton, obviously very proud of him, but very happy to see him back based in Australia, Clint Newton. Beautiful day. No Gus Gould today, so I might as well say it myself. Sunday afternoon football when the sun is shining, isn't it lovely? So here they come, the game's newest Houdinis. After that breathtaking win over South on Monday, They come into this today having won their last 5 NRL matches and 11 of the last 14 games at home here at the Footy Stadium. Braithen Astor comes back into the side for today, which only gives them a more imposing look. And speaking of Houdini, what about this bloke? Anthony Minicello, 31, Origin last year, and that act of wizardry last Monday from the Count, or the Mountain Cat, showing no signs of losing his passion for the game. Not just yet anyway. Welcome to Home Timber and Hardware, Sunday football. Luke Welsh has got a big job today on his hands, taking the Panthers, a rather decimated club, which sounds crazy, I know, in just the second week. But injuries galore, as Peter has outlined. In fact, we'll talk to David Simmons shortly into the telecast. The young man who was concussed in that hit from Frank Pritchard, that's all been dealt with. We don't need to go back through that.
Stay outside here, Panthers.
David will be watching the game for a little while with Brad Fittler this afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Sunday football underway, and Penrith kicking off and running to the northern end of the ground. And the ball on the carry back from Wairia Hargreaves, who will play the ball. Well, he was going to play it about 12 out, but he's got forced back at least 4 metres and plays it back inside his own 10-metre line. And Sam Perrott, a fellow New Zealander, brings the ball out. Ball to be played 20 in and 20 out from the Roosters line. Friend is the dummy half, and the 10 that played that ball was Tarzi. He and Cordner in this side. They both debuted back in 2011 when I think 7 players were debut players. The back row is Nuasala. So played then by Nuasala. He's in 13. Pearce goes low and long and hard out to Anasta's right boot, and it wriggles around is the best way to put it, and Lachlan Coote comes back to be tackled on the 40-metre line. So played by him, and that is Wasili, who of course joined the Panthers from Parramatta. Played right in the centre of the ground. Duby has played the ball. Kingston is taken on the 40-metre line.